Hello, wonderful souls. Welcome to Guided Space Podcast. My name is Jessica, and I'm a twin flame and spiritual coach. My mission is to create a space to guide you from within. Whether you're seeking guidance on navigating the intricate dance of relationships, uncovering your life's purpose, or simply desiring a deeper understanding of the world around you, this podcast is your compass. Join me in this sacred space as we embark on a journey that will challenge your perspectives while expanding your consciousness, growth, self-discovery, and transformation. Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry that I've been gone for so long. September has been such a busy month for me, with school starting and everything. But as I went live on TikTok the other day, I was talking to a lot of you and came to the conclusion on what topic to talk about next for my podcast, and it was clear as day that I had to discuss why the Divine Masculines run. So a big thank you and a big shout out to those of you who are on my live and participated in our fun conversation. I always have so much fun on my lives on TikTok. They're just, I don't know, they're so fun. I love the positivity and the feedback and just how everyone engages and all the questions. And my TikToks always end up being like 2-3 hours long because they're that fun. Anyway, but surprisingly, this topic was not on my list. I have a very long list of ideas for my podcast episodes, and surprisingly, this one was not on there. And yet I felt it was the strongest topic that I had to talk about, because everybody, and I mean everybody, wants to know why the Divine Masculines run. Why would they run from such an amazing thing? Why? Oh, everyone likes to say, oh, they're just simply not interested, right? And when you listen to regular dating advice on TikTok and Instagram, you have all these dating coaches that say, if a man were interested, he simply would not run. If he cares about you, he simply would not run. A man that ghosts you is simply not interested in you. What's that one movie? That book and that movie. He's just not that into you. Yeah, so this is the thing. Like, we're so conditioned into thinking that if a man ghosts, if a man runs, he's just not interested. And I know in some cases that is true. But on a twin flame journey, that is not true. So now that I've gained enough Divine Masculine clients and have gathered enough knowledge to be able to teach you why the Divine Masculines run, as Rafiki from Lion King says, it is time. I'm a huge Disney nerd. All right. As we all know, when a Divine Feminine and a Divine Masculine meet on a twin flame journey, it's only a matter of time before the Divine Masculine runs, okay? But usually Divine Feminines don't know about this until after they run. So a Divine Masculine typically runs by ghosting, which is the most common form of running, which is when they simply just stop talking to you or stop responding to your messages, which we all know is so brutal for our fragile egos. I know. Trust me, I know. Another form of running is blocking you, which is clear as day that they're just too scared to face you. But if they're brave enough, here's another way they run. If they're brave enough, they can actually give you an excuse as to why they've been distant or can't talk to you anymore. But it's quite rare that a Divine Masculine actually handles things that nicely. I know, it's so sad. Now, there are multiple reasons as to why they run. In their mind, okay, so there's different perspectives on this. There's the mind way, why they think they're running, and then there's the spiritual perspective of why they're running, okay? So in their mind, it's because it's too intense for them, because they've never felt this way before about anyone, and it scares the living crap out of them. They think, this is too good to be true. No. This is a fairy tale, so there's no way in hell that I'm going to continue something with someone this good, because it's bound to end. It's going to be destroyed eventually. So I might as well run before it gets bad and get my feelings hurt. Okay. Another reason is that they feel that the divine feminine is too good for them. Most of the divine masculines don't feel good enough for the divine feminine. This is usually the number one reason. They feel like they're just not good enough for the divine feminine. Essentially, they don't feel worthy of the divine feminine, which is very, very sad because the divine feminine literally wants nobody except the divine masculine. Like nobody. We want the divine masculine. That's it, okay? We wish that we can like instill this in their brains and we wish that they could see this. But it's so hard for them. Also, we know some divine masculines can be female. This is true. But most of the divine masculines are male. And something that we know about males, about men, is that they always like to have a solution to everything. Like we all do, but in a man's brain is like, no, I have to have a solution. I need to get this done. This is just how their brain works, okay? They like to solve problems. So when they have a situation in their hands and they simply cannot solve it, such as intense feelings for somebody that they've never had before in their life, they're going to take themselves out of the equation so they don't have to deal with it because it's too much for them to handle. It is way too intense. They don't know what to do with it or how to solve it. So instead of solving it and facing it, they would rather run and avoid the situation altogether. Because to them, this is not something a logical mind can solve or comprehend. Because as we know, this is not logical. This is a spiritual connection and not a normal connection. Okay, so on the spiritual perspective of a twin flame journey on why the divine masculines run, the divine reason, essentially, is to make the divine feminine go within. A divine feminine, when meeting the divine masculine, is usually in a bad place in their lives. They're not on the right path. In many cases, they have an anxious attachment style, or they don't know their worth. They don't have self-love, etc. Okay. Therefore, when meeting the divine masculine, if the divine feminine does not have their inner masculine and feminine energies balanced, which, it's very, very common not to have them right away before a spiritual awakening, then a separation needs to occur to activate the divine feminine. Okay, so it's to awaken the divine feminine, but we call it activate as well. We activate the divine feminine, which will make them go through dark night of the soul, which, as you guys know, I've talked about many times, it's an ego death, okay? It feels like hell, which then leads them to a big spiritual awakening, which then leads the divine feminine to a path of inner work, self-love, just getting rid of the ego and all these illusions, and they're finding themselves, they're discovering themselves, and they start going down the right path and discovering their creativity and their passions and their pursuits and start getting rid of what no longer serves them, okay? That is the main purpose, the divine purpose of the masculines running on the twin flame journey. It's basically like it's orchestrated by the divine. Because here's the thing. If it were easy, like a soulmate relationship, for example, then the divine feminine wouldn't feel the need to do any of the work to get closer to God and have divine inner union or be pushed to find their true purpose and follow the divine path that is meant for them, okay? If the divine masculine never ran and the divine feminine was not balanced, then the relationship would just become extremely, extremely toxic because neither of them would grow. Since it all starts with the divine feminine doing the work, as they are the ones that lead the journey, then they wouldn't grow. They would just keep hitting obstacle after obstacle, right? But that's clearly not the case on a twin flame journey. Otherwise, it would just be another karmic relationship. In a karmic relationship, as you guys know, we hit bump after bump after bump after bump, like just all these crazy turmoils, and that just are never ending until you finally get the courage to say, you know what, I'm out. I'm done with this relationship. I need to find something better because I deserve better, right? But we have to know our worth. However, getting pushed to go through a spiritual awakening, like, and I mean a massive spiritual awakening. I'm not talking about like, I met this person and I want to go to therapy, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm talking about you get hit rock bottom after meeting this person unexpectedly. Okay. This person leaves your life and, it's not just crying and you're sad. No, you literally go through hell. You guys all know what the divine feminines go through, okay? They go through that big dark night of the soul to go through a massive spiritual awakening. But it's brutal, okay? It's not a typical breakup and sadness. Okay. So we can have dark night of the soul through other situations, somebody dying in our life and whatnot, but this kind of urge to become our best selves after meeting somebody, and I'm talking about the urge like to become so connected to God, and you finally discover your true purpose and your path, and you start glowing and whatnot. That can only happen when you meet your divine masculine, your twin flame. It's basically as if our masculine inspires us to be like the light we see in them. Now, you may be wondering, how do I know this for sure, though? That the divine masculine runs because of lack of self-worth, or because it's too intense, or that they actually are in love with their divine feminine, etc. I'm going to give you some examples from my divine masculine clients and a confirmation I had from my own visions about my divine masculine, and an Akashic record reading I had that confirmed it even more. As most of you know, I've had mostly divine feminine clients, of course, but I have had a few masculine clients, divine masculines, and they all had very similar stories. One of them was dating a girl for a couple months, and she randomly decided to call things off due to some things in her life. Then a week later, she changed her mind and begged to have him back. But he decided, you know what? I don't want to keep dating you. Nope. This is a great opportunity to start dating other people, as many divine masculines do. They go off and date karmics because they think it's easier and they don't want to deal with something so intense, right? Because he had crazy feelings for her, but he's like, you know what? Screw it. This is too crazy. So he decided to take his chances with the girl he'd had his eyes set on for some time. He called her his dream girl. She was the perfect girl with all the qualities that he wanted in a partner. Meanwhile, his divine feminine kept trying to chase him and pursue him and tell him, like, no, we're supposed to be together. We have to be together. You are my... I think she even told him that he was her twin flame. And that's why he ended up calling me, because he's like, yo, am I really a twin flame? And he realized he was. Months later, he found himself miserable, crying nonstop for a couple months. Like, that's a long time, okay? And he didn't understand why. It was to the point that even his dream girl partner told him perhaps it was best he gave his ex another chance. Dream girl was definitely a soulmate and here to assist him on his journey, just as many soulmates do. Most of us, especially divine feminines, we will actually meet several soulmates on this journey. Like after meeting a twin flame, or while we're on the, even before, we have soulmates and they help us on this journey, and they usually kind of help us boost our confidence. They're kind of a way to support us or lead us in the right direction. But do not get it confused with a twin flame, okay? And do not let them get in the way of being with your twin flame, because sometimes this can happen. You have a soulmate in the way and they're giving you that attention, they're giving you love and affection and whatnot, but do not let it be a block in your union with your twin flame. Now, another client of mine had a similar situation. He met this woman who was married and she fell hard for him. They started having an affair and eventually they ended things because of her marriage. However, she kept pursuing him, but he did not want to continue things with a married woman. Eventually, she stopped pursuing, and he found himself a year later, I think it was, I can't remember, crying over her and not understanding why, and he could not get her out of his head. The obsessive thoughts were through the roof, and it was driving him crazy. It was to the point that he couldn't even date other women or sleep with other women. And this is a good looking guy, okay? Like, this guy was in tip top shape and he could probably get many women if he wanted to. And he tried having a one night stand, but he felt completely mortified that he had to go to therapy to talk about his feelings, about how disgusted he was with himself for sleeping with someone. Not because he had a one night stand, but because he felt wrong for sleeping with someone other than his divine feminine, even though they were not a couple. They weren't even talking. Okay, so just like divine feminines have a hard time sleeping with other people and dating, divine masculines eventually feel this way too after they've been spiritually activated. A lot of you ask me, but do divine masculines feel this way too? Or are we the only ones that feel guilty for sleeping and dating with other people? No. The divine masculines eventually feel this way too, but it just takes longer for them to feel guilty, because they're so stuck in that 3D mind. They're trying to comprehend, because they try to move on by dating karmics. And then they realize they can't move on by dating karmics and sleeping with karmics. Okay. And so after they get spiritually activated, they realize they can't do this. Okay. And my client that I was just speaking about also told me that this led him closer to God. And even though he was into New Age and spiritual stuff before at another time in his life, this brought him even closer to God in another way, which was the same for me. I too was very spiritual, but then I went off the path for like a year or two before reconnecting with my twin flame. And right after I reconnected with him, which is when I got activated spiritually on an entire different level. It was insane. While I was talking to this client, his emotions made me so emotional on the call because he didn't know how to handle it. I'll never forget when he said, "You girls have it so much easier than we do as men. We don't have people to talk to about these things." And he's absolutely right, which is why I sympathize so much with men. I've talked about this a lot in my videos, and I want to bring it up in my podcast for everyone to listen to, and I hope more men and divine masculines listen to this and understand that they deserve help. They really do. I want to raise awareness on men's mental health. Even though I mostly talk about twin flames and spirituality, I truly believe one of my purposes in life is helping men with their mental health and bringing awareness to it. Because men have been conditioned since almost the beginning of time to be strong, to not show weakness by crying, to be tough, have this tough exterior, and that if you're emotional, you're either gay or weak, which is so far from the truth. Showing emotion is actually a sign of strength because it takes a lot of bravery to be vulnerable. But unfortunately, men are taught to hide their emotions and not face them, which is one of the reasons why men have a higher suicide rate than women. In a study in 2021 on the CDC site, it shows that suicide rate was approximately 4 times higher than the rate among females. 4 times! And the crazy part is males make up 50% of the population, but nearly 80% of suicides. Think about that, you guys. This is insane. And this is exactly why I advocate for men's mental health. And I sympathize with men, especially those who go to war and suffer from PTSD, and men who've had generational trauma, teaching them not to show affection and emotions because their parents weren't given emotions or given affection and shown emotions. And their grandparents and great grandparents weren't shown any of that either. I want to break that generational trauma. And I've been doing that with my own family because my father and his father and, everyone in the family, they were shown that too. And I broke that for them. I taught my dad how to love. And I forgave my dad because I knew it wasn't his fault. I knew that him not showing affection, like even though I could feel the love, he didn't show it very much as he wanted to because his father didn't show it. And my uncle's the same way. He's even worse, right? But but my uncle didn't have someone to teach him that it's okay to do that. I taught my dad, it's okay. It's okay. And now my dad is like so freaking loving. He's just so sweet. We as light workers are here to break that generational trauma and generational conditioning and generational curses. We are here to break that. You know, even if it means teaching your father. Usually it's us teaching our future kids, but we can also teach our parents, or at least we can try. I know it's not always going to be easy because older generations have such a hard time with this, but we can try. And I believe we as divine feminines and light workers are here to help with that. As divine feminines, I truly believe it is our mission to break down the barriers of men's lack of self-worth, lack of self-love, and all self-limiting beliefs. Because when divine feminines get spiritually activated on this journey, we feel an enormous amount of unconditional love. And we are here to spread that unconditional love by showing what it is through our actions and words. Some of you might wonder, but how do we know that they truly feel that unworthy? How do we know they're simply just not interested in us? Because most of the divine masculines, they do seem like they have their ish together and might seem super confident. I know mine did, okay? Mine definitely seemed confident. But they do drop little hints from time to time when in contact, such as, this is too good to be true. You're too perfect. You're too good for me. I don't deserve you. What did I do to deserve you? There was an instance where I picked up on the energy of my divine masculine, and a few days later confirmed it with an Akashic record reading, and it was so crazy. As we know, while on this journey, our spiritual gifts get quite enhanced. We can see things, hear things, feel things, and just basically become these high intuitive beings tapped into our sixth sense like never before. I'm going to tell you a little story of something that happened recently. So a week ago, I was channeling what the divine masculines were feeling for me and two of my girlfriends. It was just a fun experiment, okay? We were bored on a Saturday and we like to tap into energies. We are the terrible trio. So I asked my guides what was up with our past lives, with us if we had past lives together. And apparently we were the terrible trio because nothing could stop us. We were so fun together and just unstoppable. And here we are doing it again in this lifetime. Anyway, as I tapped into what each of the divine masculines were feeling for us, I would either feel their emotions and or see what they were going through, or I would hear certain things that they were saying. It was so crazy. Like for one of my girlfriends, I was completely fine reading, feeling the energies from one of them. And then all of a sudden I got to someone else and I'm just crying because I'm sensing her divine masculine cry so much. He's so hurt. He feels rejected and he feels bruised. His ego is so bruised. And then when it came to my divine masculine, I felt it the most. I felt the emotions the most, of course, because that's who I'm connected to, right? But I didn't expect to see what I saw because sometimes my visions aren't really clear, but oh my God, I saw him so clearly. I saw him nervous, scared, frustrated, pacing back and forth with his hands on his head in front of a desk with a computer on it. It was so crazy. But I saw it clear as day, and I could feel his emotions, the frustration, and him being nervous. Well, earlier this week, I had an Akashic record reading, and I asked her to ask his higher self if he had any messages for me, and she said, yes, he sees the beauty in you, your inner beauty. But there's a lot of nervousness and hesitation and paces a lot back and forth, wondering, should I do this or should I do that? And again, self-doubt is something you can help him with when you connect with his soul essence and heart. He has a lot of self-sabotage, negative voice patterns, someone that didn't show him how worthy he is, perhaps a father. He doesn't understand his worth. He's always worried he's not going to be good enough. Okay, so clearly I didn't get all of that in my vision, but the pacing back and forth, the nervousness, the hesitation, this was confirmations to the visions and feelings that I was sensing a week ago. And And then her saying that he's always worried he's not going to be good enough and he doesn't understand his worth. These were his words. Well, these were her words through his higher self. And this confirms what the divine masculines feel. They always feel unworthy. This is exactly why they run, ladies and gentlemen. They never feel good enough for us divine feminines. They think it's too good to be true, but we have to show them how worthy they are of us. They see so much light in us, and yet it is the same light we see in them, but they have a hard time seeing it for themselves. However, we have to have that self-love and self-worth first and foremost. Then and only then can we show them how worthy they truly are. Until we have self-love and self-worth, they're never going to have that for themselves. They're never going to feel it. Okay? But there's an exercise that I like to practice from time to time, and it's communicating with their higher self, with the divine masculine's higher self. There are a couple of different ways to do this. You can simply either talk to your divine masculine as if they're there with you, which I know sounds very delulu, as the young ones say these days. But really, it does make you feel a little delusional, but I promise it helps. When I first heard about this, I thought, I'm not going to talk to him. He's not here. That's going to make me look crazy. Are you kidding me? I thought it was the weirdest thing, but everyone was saying, you have to talk to them. This is how telepathy works. You have to start talking to them as if they're there. I'm like, all right, I guess. But then I started trying it out. And shortly after, I would literally get visions of him. And with my eyes open sometimes, which were basically flashes of images of him that I've never even seen before. So these were not pictures that I've seen of him. It was like images of his face. And I've heard him say things to me. But I'm going to save all this for another episode when I talk about telepathy and spiritual gifts. But this is why I say it helps to talk to them, which feels kind of crazy and delusional to do it, but some of my friends actually do this a lot, and they say they hear from their divine masculine in the 3D more because of it. So you can either talk to them as if they're there, or while meditating or in a calm state of mind, invite your divine masculine's higher self to talk to. For example, say their first and last names and then say, higher self, I invite you to please come in. I'd like to speak with you, and then say things that you feel from the heart, okay? Like truly, truly from the heart. I'll give you some examples. So-and-so's higher self, I'd like to speak with you. I want you to know I love you unconditionally. I know you are struggling, but please know that I do love you, even though it may not make sense in this world. I want you to know you are so worthy of love. You are worthy of this divine connection. We are both worthy of this divine connection and worthy of being together in union. You are my one and only divine counterpart, and I truly want you to see how worthy you are of this unconditional love and how much I care about you. You are beautiful inside and out. You are strong. You radiate so much love and light, and I want you to see all the good in yourself the way I see you. I'm not mad at you for not speaking with me all this time. In fact, I forgive you for it, and I know it was needed to help me grow and heal and be where I am today. I am here for you always whenever you are ready to come back to me. I will not push you to come to me if you are not ready, but I will be here with open arms. Please know that you are loved by me and by God, and we are worthy of being in union. May you receive this message well and with love in the 3D. So sometimes saying it like to say that they receive it well in their subconscious, it's like you're sending it to their subconscious. So you're sending it to their higher self so that the higher self can drop it into their mind, essentially. And sometimes when you do this, you can actually feel their emotions, like how they're going to feel or how they feel from you doing that. So you can get giddy emotions, you can get emotional, whatever it is. But I've done this before, and I've gotten that giddy feeling unexpectedly from them. And when speaking to them after, I realized that he was quite excited that same day. So these are some of the things I say to my divine masculine's higher self when my soul feels it is needed. You can even do this as if you're writing a letter to their higher self. Now, don't do this all day, every day, because it can take the focus off of you. And, you do need to detach from your divine masculine. Okay. A big part of this journey is focusing on yourself. So sometimes I'm like super detached and I don't feel the need or urge to talk to his higher self because I'm just focusing on me. Like I don't want to put any energy into it. But then occasionally I'll be like, I'm here. I love you. I hope you're well. I send you love. I send you good energy. But I do it like very minimally. But when you feel your divine masculine is struggling, and you can in fact feel this, especially while meditating, you can put your hand on your heart chakra. And when you feel emotions that aren't yours, such as random sadness or crying, know that they're most likely their emotions because you are connected to your divine masculine through your heart chakra. You're connected through all the chakras, but especially the heart chakra. Usually when I would feel my divine masculine sad or crying, because this has happened and where I have my hand on my heart space and all of a sudden I start crying like out of nowhere, and I know they're not my emotions, and then I see visions of him crying. So in situations like that, I would then send energy to him and say, it's okay, I'm here for you, I send you love, I love you, you're going to be okay. Please God protect him, please Archangel Michael protect him. They need more comfort than we know. As divine feminines, we are naturally nurturing, like comforting mothers, and we need to show them that love that they deserve and they probably have not received in this lifetime. I know this can be hard for some of you who have been blocked or ghosted or are being breadcrumbed, but trust me, the unconditional love is so real and runs so deep, deeper than the oceans and higher than the heavens above. I know it's so cheesy, but it's true. So please remember, if this counterpart of yours is truly your twin flame and they have run, know that they aren't running because they don't like you or that they don't love you. They're running because they like you too much and they love you and they don't know how to handle it. But you, as the divine feminine, need to stop chasing and focus on that self-love, your self-worth. Love yourself unconditionally, fully accepting yourself. And when you finally get to that point, you can send that love to your divine counterpart in the 5D if you're not in communication with them. And know that they will come to you when they are ready, when they feel worthy of your beautiful unconditional love. It may take some time, but I promise it will be worth it in the end. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I felt it was much needed. I truly believe in the power of talking to our divine masculine's higher self because they do need to know how worthy they are, because they don't feel worthy of love, and it's so sad. It's so sad. They've been conditioned with so much hate and self-sabotage. So please be easy on them. And I'm not saying accept breadcrumbs and accept the bare minimum, or accept them every time they come back to you if you're not ready. You do have to set boundaries on this journey. But if you're not in communication with them, then you should send them love through their higher self, because they will receive it. Send them that love. They deserve it. They need to feel it. Please do that. Come from a place of love. We as divine feminines are unconditional love. We embody unconditional love, and we need to share it. We need to show that love. We need to share that light. If you like my podcast, if you feel that my content resonates with you, feel free to book a one-on-one session, or you can you can purchase my workshop, which is on the link in my bio. I'll put the link down below in the description. My workshop is a little over 2 hours long, but I feel it's very helpful because it covers many topics such as this, and covers how to balance your feminine and masculine energies, how to cope with separation, how to deal with third-party connections, how to, certain ways to heal traumas, how to connect with your inner child, practicing forgiveness, how to meditate. I go so deep into so many different things because I can't cover all of this stuff in a one-on-one. But like I said, I have options. You can book a one-on-one with me, or you can purchase my workshop. But I truly hope to help you on this journey. And I appreciate all the love and feedback that I get from every single one of you. It truly warms my heart. And I really appreciate that I don't know, it's just so rewarding that I'm helping you guys. And it makes me feel good. It makes me know that I am truly on the right path. And I know God has put me here to help all of you, to help all of us who are on this crazy, wild, beautiful journey. And I know it can be so hard sometimes. Trust me, I know. I know sometimes it may seem like I make it seem so blissful. It's just because I look at it from such a positive perspective because of how much I've grown from it. And I want everyone to look at it from a positive perspective because it truly helps you become the best version of yourself. This journey is, I know it's intense and it's scary and it's hard, but it's also so beautiful. At the end of the tunnel, it is so magnificent to see how much you've grown, to see how beautiful you are becoming, to see how connected you are to God and to everybody and to spirit, and to see your beautiful spiritual gifts coming to light and helping others and just becoming a beacon of light for people. And I don't know, I just feel I find it so rewarding, and I hope everyone can get to this place of inner peace. And I know it's not always going to be rainbows and sunshine all day, every day. We have our ups and downs. We are still human beings trying to navigate this crazy, wild journey that does not make sense to a logical mind. I get it. But trust me, it is beautiful. And I hope that you see the good in this journey, and I hope you learn from it, and I hope you all gain strength. I hope you all gain love. I hope you all gain wisdom and light in your hearts. And the more we raise our vibration and focus on our self-love and know our worth and get closer to God, we will be in union with our twin flame. I know it. This is a wild journey. It's hard. I know. Maybe I don't know, but I do believe. I hope and I do believe that we all will be in union with our twin flame. I do. So think positive, have love and joy in your heart as much as possible. Connect with God, meditate, pray, do all of those high vibe things. And yeah, have a wonderful day, and may God always be with you. God bless.